Hi everyone, I'm Jake Simon, proud First Nations Australian artist. I'm here today as your Mate of the Month with a collaboration with Teammate and GALI. I've always been surrounded by creative people, and that sort of started coming out later in my life. Starting in Sydney, I was working through corporate jobs, and when I started tapping into the really artsy side of myself, I was like, okay, cool, let's take it further. I took the leap, and now I've been working full-time for myself for about 3 years now. This is Catherine Street. This is one of my first projects that I did. The first place I lived in Sydney, and the house was full of creatives as well, so that always reminds me of where my journey started here. Traditionally, a lot of First Nations art, the palette is really restricted with those earthy tones. My art is a bit more vibrant and brings out more colour palettes and the rainbow really. And so that is reflective of my queerness, and it comes out a lot in my work. Australia is made up of over 200 different micronations, and I'm from two, so it's Worimi-Biripi, 2.5 hours north of Sydney. So its colonial name is Port Stephens. First Nations art in fashion has sort of always been around in little bits and pieces here, but only recently it's been spotlighted as much as it has, and it's really taking off. And I think now First Nations people have more control over the narrative, the production of those storytelling. And that's the most important thing, is that First Nations people are first and foremost the ones who control the narrative of those spaces. This would have to be my favourite design out of the collection. This is called Worimi Waves, and tells the story of traditional upbringing, saltwater, freshwater, which is my people, as well as the queerness to it and the colour palette. When someone wears the Teammate GALI X collection, I really want the person to wear it with pride and know that they're carrying around one of the oldest living cultures' stories on them, and that they learn something from the symbols, the stories and things like that, and can share that. A fraction of the proceeds will go to a First Nations run community org. One of the charities that I picked is Black Aboriginal Corporation. They're based here in Sydney. They do a holistic approach around queer Black people in the community for different services, and that's my way of giving back to my community. Well, thanks for having me today. I'm so happy to be a part of this and be your Mate of the Month. And you can see my work on Instagram.